In the midst of the reign of King Ahab and Jezebel, the prophet Elijah comes on the scene and he says, because of the wickedness that you guys are doing, there's going to be no rain right now until I command it. Then he goes into hiding because his life is in danger. Then he goes to visit this widow and her son to seek shelter and food. And he says, could you please bake me some bread? And she says, I only have enough flour and oil left for my son and myself to make one small loaf. And then I imagine we're going to die because, there's no food to drop. He says, please just make one small loaf for me, and God will see fit that your oil and your flour does not run out as long as there's no rain in the land. She does that, and her flour and her oil does not run out. Shortly after that, though, her son gets ill and dies. She gets very emotional. She says, what do you have against me? Did you come here to judge my sins by killing my son? And Elijah takes her son, prays over him, pleads that God will restore his life, and he comes back to life. And she says, now I know that you are a man of God and that what you are saying are God's words. Elijah is then prompted by the Spirit to present himself to King Ahab again. He comes across Obadiah. Obadiah is overseeing the palace of Ahab, and he actually fears the Lord and has hidden several prophets because Queen Jezebel is on a rampage and she's killing God's prophets. Elijah tells him, go tell Ahab I want to meet with him. And Obadiah, fearing for his own life, is like, what sins did I commit that you want to see me die in front of King Ahab? And Elijah just says, go tell him. So Elijah does meet with Ahab, and Ahab says, are you the one who's ruining Israel? And Elijah says, me ruining Israel? You mean you and your father's family ruining Israel because you're worshiping Baal instead of God? See, Elijah's just trying to do God's will here, and he's being asked all these questions. What do you have against me? Are you here to judge me for my sins? Do you really want to see me die? Are you ruining Israel? Sometimes when you are doing God's will, you have to bear with the fears, doubts, and judgments of others in proximity to you. Sometimes people who are close to you, who love you, and even love the Lord. But their misunderstanding does not change the mission or the message that you bring, and their accusations do not halt or diminish what God will do through you. See, Elijah is our call to be less concerned about how we are perceived and be bolder about our faith and what God will accomplish.